chance. On this rabbit show, it's time to do the dance. Go back door, we're in the zone. We're still stuck, the media road. Free to go, let's rock and roll. Packers pride, let's take control.
What is up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in, dude. We had a little technical difficulties to start off, but we are in this thing right now. What is up, Jimmy?
What's up, man? I officially hate Wi-Fi and everything technology, but made it work.
I got me some new internet, so I was like, everything's gonna be smooth and beautiful. And then Jimmy's like, nah.
Not today. You gotta account for a small town, 300 people Wi-Fi. They can only offer you so much.
Yeah, that's the thing. I had Spectrum and it wasn't working out, but now I got I think it's like Bright Speed or something. But
okay.
Yeah, I think they just came to this area because like they said that they were like they're like working. Like they did like 300 people in my town or something. So
Yeah.
It was like in the last 2 weeks. They were in and out, dude. They had a crew come in, like 3 people. They got a truck. They're up in the sky. I don't know, doing my telephone pole. But anyways, we are here. We're going to talk about some Green Bay Packers, you know what I mean? But I do want to give a little shout out over here to some sponsors, you know what I mean? And I have I had AI write something for me, you know what I mean? So let's get through this real quick, then we'll start talking to the Packers. All right, folks, let's take a quick moment to talk about the go-to spot for all your game day needs. Quick Trip, whether you're stocking up before a tailgate or grabbing snacks for the couch, Quick Trip has you covered. From fresh fried chicken to squeaky cheese curds, their food game is elite. Need something on the healthier side? Their fresh produce and grab-and-go options are second to none. Oh, and don't forget the legendary Karuba coffee, because you're going to need that energy to cheer on the Packers to victory. But big shout out to Quick Trip being a sponsor. And we'll get into this thing. We have another sponsor, but we'll save that for the middle of the show. You know, I'm trying to be a professional podcaster over here. You know what I mean? But Jimmy, all right, the Packers won 38-10. Dude, I had a little rant last night. I had a couple beers in me, and I'm so sick of the excuses. Like the Packers, and whenever they win, it's like they're just riddled with excuses. Like, oh, they had injuries. Yeah, the Packers have injuries too. But I want to get your take on this game, and then we can talk a little bit about that. And then I definitely want to talk about, because, you know, we got a short week this week. Thursday we have a game. But what was your take overall on the game?
Dude, it was a heck of a game. And I know, like you said, there's already excuses. 49ers were injured. Every team in the NFL is injured. We had games where we had a backup quarterback in. Difference is we didn't lose them. We still figured it out. So, like, yeah, it sucks. You guys were missing some people. Oh, well, it's the NFL. If you had them there, you would have lost by 14 instead of 28. Congratulations. The Packers are the better team, and they do what you're supposed to do. Good teams are supposed to beat up on teams that have injuries. That's what they did. So I'm like, that was the best outcome of the game. I'd be more I'd still be happy with a win, but I'd be a little more concerned if we won by 1 point like we did against the Bears, or won because of like a last second field goal block, because that's not what we should have done to this team. We're a far better team. So it happened. What's supposed to happen happened. So sorry, 49ers. You guys suck this year.
Dude, and that's what it is. It's like I said about the Bears. I said the Bears are going to win. The Packers are going to beat the Bears by 30. And everyone was like, oh, you know, they're all worked up about it. And then the Packers barely won on a blocked field goal. And everyone's like, oh, you were wrong. I was like, well, still right, they won. But that's what they should have done in that game. And now the Niners, they're beat up, and they're not good. They weren't good to begin with. They're 5-5. I'm sure they had injuries a lot this year. A lot of teams do, though. Like you said, like Jordan Love was out. Malik Willis, dude. They had Malik Willis in the building like 7 days before he was starting. Yeah. So, like, I mean, I get it. It's different situations. The Packers are playing different teams than the Niners are playing. But, dude, there's no excuses. You win or you lose in the NFL. And in sports in general. So, I've never made excuses. Especially like on the internet, because I think it makes you look stupid when you're talking about, oh, this is the bad refs and injuries and this. It's just excuses. I think it makes you look stupid, and that's why I don't do it.
And if you look, like, the thing is too, when the Packers didn't have Malik Willis, you know who stepped up was Josh Jacobs. It's not like the 49ers didn't have Christian McCaffrey. All that happened was the Packers shut down Christian McCaffrey. So I understand coming back from injury, you can make every excuse in the world. The Packers did what they were supposed to do. 49ers couldn't do anything. you guys still got your touchdown. Kittle did what Kittle does against the Packers, found his way into the end zone. You got your staple against us. Besides that, the Packers, we handled business. So, ta-ta.
Yeah, and that's just what it is. Yeah, and dude, and I still got him, dude. It's funny because like I've actually in my comments throughout like social media, I have Bear fans, I have Niner fans still crying, and I get the Niners. It's Tuesday, it's not that crazy, but like the Bears, like bro, you have another game to complain about in between there. You know what I mean? Maybe just let it go. But yeah, dude, I'm over the excuses. I'm over talking about sub 500 teams. That's what Niner fans got mad. Because he's like, well, we had injuries. I did. Beyond the injuries, your team sucks. So they're just not good right now. They talk about all these playoff wins that they got over the Packers, but no Super Bowls since 1994. Packers have 2 since then. So, like, I mean, I get it. That's why they frustrate me, because they have hurt me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a fan. So, but yeah, I'm going to talk trash. Like, well, I wouldn't be too excited about that win. Well, I am. I'm excited about every single win. I don't care how it happens. Especially 38-10. I don't care.
Yeah. It's not a fluky one. And then for all the fans that were upset last week, we only beat the Bears by so little. The team ahead of us in the division needed overtime to beat the Bears. So the Bears, since they fired their offensive coordinator, have been a better team. And we beat that team. And I know the people are going to say, though, the Vikings aren't as good as the record. Yeah, probably not. But they're better than the Bears. And it took them to overtime to do it. So we all got to just enjoy the victories. Let's just have fun. Like, it's crazy.
That's the thing. That Vikings and Bears game, yeah, the Bears played them tough. And I do think the Vikings are good. People talk about they're not as good. Like, you know, remember when the Packers like, oh, this is the worst 13-3 team of all time, and all that stuff. So I don't say that. The Vikings are better than I thought they were going to be, and like not by a little bit either.
Yeah,
like, I thought they were going to be like a 6-7 win team. I'm an idiot. I understand that, but I don't know stuff. But the Vikings are a good team. This NFC North is really good, except for the Bears. But like you say, the Bears are coming on, but I'm going to take those hits when I can get them.
Oh, yeah.
But the Bears are, I don't know what the Bears are going to do. Like, if they start getting some wins, do they not fire their coach? Do they? I really don't care. No matter what happens, I have no faith the Bears are going to be anything. But who is your, let's talk about this game, the inside the game a little bit. Who was your player of the game? I think it's, you probably know.
Well, I went with Josh Jacobs last week, so I'm not going to do it again. I got to give credit because I called him out last week. Quay Walker, man, a hell of a bounce back. He went from having probably his worst game of the season last week against the Bears to having his best game of the season this week against the 49ers, was flying around, got a sack. Yes, he initially missed it. Oh, well, he got up and finished it. The one thing, catch the ball. Let's get to the jugs machine. Let's practice that a little bit. Could have had an interception, but he was doing everything he was supposed to. He was in the right spots. He was running towards the ball. So I got to give him his flowers when he earns them, and he definitely earned it this week. So I still have faith in Quay. That's the biased fan in me. I'll always have faith in the player until they finally cut him. Maybe not Royce Newman, but every other player besides that. So I got a hell of a game by Quay.
Yeah, dude, I was saying that during my game stream. By the way, people you can watch, you know. I'll be live this Thursday for the Packer game. Everyone come jump in the live stream. I'm over on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all the places. Anyways, I was saying that during the game, though, is that, like, Quay Walker was there on everything. Like, you just kept seeing him, and you just kept saying his name. He almost got the interception, but, he gets a lot of heat, but, some of it deservingly so. You know, he's got whatever. But, he had himself a game. I was pumped for him because I do root hardcore for Quay Walker just because a lot of the hate and the mistakes he made early on in his career. Yeah. So, like, I was rooting for him. This defense, you know, McKinney got a pick. Yeah. My player of the game was Josh Jacobs. I made a video. You probably saw it. I'm sure you watched it 10 times.
I'm all of your views, actually. It's just me.
But Josh Jacobs, he does not go down. Like and that spin move that he does, sometimes it's not even necessary. He's just like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. He knows it's sexy. So he's like, I'm going to pull it out. Whatever.
And I like it because then I get to yell at my game stream, he hit the circle button. I think it's like the greatest line.
He had a hell of a game. There's a play. He only got 1 yard on it, but he had to break 3 tackles. It should have been like a loss of 3 or 4 yards, but he broke multiple tackles just to get barely past the line of scrimmage. But those are such important plays because then instead of 2nd and 13, you're looking at 2nd and 9.5, you know? Like it's having a running back that refuses to go down at first contact. He is insane. A little thick body dude. And he uses it, man.
Yeah, and he wants it, and he like I don't think it was I don't know remember if it was this game or the game before, but when he said that, come on, I think
Oh
that
yeah,
might have been
last
the
week.
Bears game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Bears game. But yeah, he wants that contact, and it's not just pound, it's not just hand the ball off and run into your offensive lineman. He's got patience too. Like on that touchdown, he was going up the middle, kind of went off to the left a little bit, found the spot, punched it in for the touchdown. I think Josh Jacobs is like McKinney's obviously huge, but Josh Jacobs is a huge addition for the Packers. I mean, obviously Aaron Jones was doing his thing here, but yeah, that wasn't going to work out. Josh Jacobs, I can't imagine a better situation for a replacement. Barkley, dude, Saquon Barkley, dude. It's funny because I'm sure you've seen this video on the internet of I think it's the Giants talking about his kid was like there's one video of his kid talking about who they should draft, and he just rattles off all these top names. And then his dad's like, "Oh, interesting." And his kid was right on all of them. They're all like big time players now. But there was another one where one of his coaches was telling him about Saquon Barkley, and he's like, "Well, who would pay him?" And he's like, "I think anyone with money will pay him." But obviously, yeah, they made a mistake there. But I forget why I was talking about that. But yeah, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, probably the top running backs that were in free agency. I'm glad the Packers.
Yeah, I saw something today. It's the top 3 rushers: Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon Barkley. All their team. Obviously, the Titan situation is a little bit different. I think they were doing Henry a favor, letting him go to a real team. But yeah, for Barkley and Jacobs, it's like you guys could have had this, and you decided, you know what? Let's let probably the best player that would be on for sure. He'd be the best player on the Raiders right now. Saquon would be by far the best player on the Giants, and they were just like, you know what? Let's not pay really good players and just let them go dominate for other teams.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the Giants doing that if they came across it and said, "Hey, we're not going to pay him because we suck. So what's the point of having this fancy running back? We're not going to win. Let's get our cap under situated." But I don't think that was the case. It doesn't seem like it. No. They were just like, no one. I think maybe they thought he would come back because nobody would want to pay him, and they were wrong on that. I don't know what's going on in New York, but let's talk. Let's hit some of these comments over here. Throw to Reed more. All right, Jaden Reed is one of my favorite players in the Packers. And when you put the ball in his hands, special things happen. But I feel like they have so much people they want to get the ball to. It's hard to – so, like, in this offense, you need unselfish players. And it seems like they've always had that with the receivers. They're always besides Devontae, not to say he was selfish, but – they knew, like, you got to throw this guy the ball. And Rodgers was, like, all about it. He's like, I will throw to him every time. I don't even know we have other receivers.
He couldn't name any of them. Besides Alan Lazard, he didn't know any of the names.
Yeah. I think Alan Lazard must have made, like, a good casserole or something when he came over to the house for all the meetings they had because he loved him some Alan Lazard. But what do you think, Jaden Reed, how do they get the ball more? And not just that, like, this offense as a whole, what do you want to see? Especially going up against Miami, because Miami, dude, that offense can do some stuff. They have to – it's going to be a shootout.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too. For Reed, it is such a weird thing because he came onto the season so strong and was dominating the early weeks of the season. For him, we saw this past week they had that play that got him – I think they got him into the red zone where he had 2 running backs lined up next to each other. And Reed went out for that little pass. He took a hit, held on to it. So it was nice to see him kind of scheme up some things to get him the ball. Usually we see it again, too, on those little swing passes. He'll go out from the backfield. But I'm with you. I don't know how they do it, but I would like to see him get the ball a little bit more, especially in space, because Watson's by far our fastest receiver, but Reed is our most dynamic in space. If you can get him in going with some open field in front of him, like he can make some special things happen. And it's honestly one of the things that I'm surprised isn't happening more. I don't know if it's just because Jordan Love is either, hey, let's check it down, or I'm going to bomb it 50 yards down the field, or what's going on. But I'm with him. I would love to see Reed get the ball more because he is so dynamic. And I saw his other comment too, Tucker Kraft. It seems like whenever he gets the ball, it's a touchdown or it's a big play because he's making moves for real. He'll never go down at first contact. He'll push his own players down like we saw with Josh Myers to make sure he gets in the end zone. So I don't know. He's a stud, man. Blocking, incredible. In the pass game, he does what he needs to do. I'm excited so we can finally get Luke Musgrave back. we haven't seen him. Obviously, he's been injured for a while. Even the first couple games wasn't really doing much. So I want to see what he can do too. If you have Kraft, someone now that is a certified going to be one of the tight ends next year. I think he's going to be a top 5. I think he already, honestly, you could consider him up there right now.
Yeah.
Having Musgrave in there, just another receiving threat. It's interesting. But like you said, and then I'll stop rambling.
No, ramble away, bro.
Our team's so dynamic. Like we saw last week was Christian Watson. This week before he got hurt, Dobbs, I think it was the second quarter on one of the drives, literally 3 first downs on third down. Like he was just the guy for Love that game when it came to important plays. And it sucks he got hurt. I don't know if he'll be back this week. Probably not if it's a head injury, but it just goes around. It does, every week's a different person. So it makes it so hard on defenses. And it's incredible to watch LaFleur cook up just his magician work back there.
Yeah, I agree. Like defenses don't know. And I don't know, like, if during the week, like when they're making the game plan, if they're saying this is the guy this week, we're going to get the ball to him, or if like throughout the game it just happens and then they kind of go with that, and or if he's just getting open. Like, I don't know. I've never been in a locker room. They don't let me. But
next season.
No, they're like athletes only, bro. You can't run. But so let's get to a few comments over here. James says, Packers shut down McCaffrey. I wasn't mad. I played him in fantasy and got 3 points. Yeah, dude, and that's the thing. He's a special back. Like, obviously, they were like saying, hey, beat us in the past. We're not gonna let McCaffrey beat you. But that's still impressive because there's been a lot of times when the Packers knew that team's gonna run on us. And I had Niner fans tell me last week, doesn't matter about the injuries, because you can't stop the run. We're going to run all over you. It wasn't the case. What do you have, like 30 yards or something?
Yeah, not much, dude. He was shut down a lot. And then on that play, another player that gets a lot of hate online, a lot of it unwarranted, but Keyshawn Nixon coming up with that big punch out too on McCaffrey. Like, they shut him down. And that was beautiful because he had 2 touchdowns on us last year in the playoffs. So it's nice to see, like you said, they can't blame injuries on that. Like your run game, you have Shanahan back there. He made Jordan Mason look like a good back at the beginning of the season. He schemed stuff up, but the Packers defense shut it down. It is what it is. I don't care who your quarterback is. You can still run the ball, and they couldn't on us.
Yeah, and the Packers just did their job. What do you think about that end of the half when they just started eating that thing down the field, though?
I was so confused because I was like, you guys have timeouts. Like, the one to Christian Watson obviously makes sense. Wide open. Should have been a touchdown. And I think Love, after that happened, he was like, oh, I should have had a touchdown. I'm going to get one anyways. And just started, he was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm chucking it the next 2. But I was a little confused because I was like, why don't we just take some easy stuff, try to get a field goal? But Love went full Brett Favre in that moment and said, I will not do anything under 30 yards.
Yeah, he was he was going after it. I was confused too, and everyone in the chat too was like, why? Like, why are they just like, it was like they're playing Madden. Just like we're throwing, it's like Hail Marys. That's what we're doing.
Even the last one too it was to Christian, like double covered Christian Watson. And I was like, are you just trying to get your interception out of the way? Like, was that it? He was like, it doesn't matter. It's right before the half. I'm just going to chuck it up. I don't know.
Maybe Jordan that's his goal. He's like, I need to have an interception. That's how I get in the mood. You know what I mean? That's how I get it rolling. But let's talk a little bit. We got some more comments over here about Tua. Tua is 0-4 in 40 degrees or lower, and it's supposed to be 29 degrees on Thanksgiving. That is an interesting stab. I don't think the weather is going to be a thing. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a thing because the guys ain't used to the weather, but I don't think it's going to be like so cold like they can't think about their assignment and like they kind of like just doing stupid stuff. Yeah, I don't think. And Tua, I saw, shout out to Wes Hotkowitz. Over on that, he's got those 3 things they talk about with on their show. He was saying like his numbers, Tua, since he came back from that concussion, he's good. I think his quarterback rate is over 100. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think Tua's he's gonna come to play, and and like people always talk about like Lambeau Field doesn't have home field advantage anymore. I think part of that home field advantage is because when people come to Green Bay to play, they love Lambeau. They kind of, you hear players all the time saying, this Lambeau Field, the history and all that. So I feel like they play up because they're at Lambeau Field. Not because they're at Lambeau Field, but I think they like playing at Lambeau Field. But I feel like they don't see it as like, we can't win here, especially like 49ers.
Yeah.
But they didn't that day. I think it's funny that the 49ers tweeted out, "Oh, last time we were at Lambeau it was fun." I was like, "Yeah, how was it this time, bro?"
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I hate them so much. I'm with
dude, I do.
I think part of it too is like the home field advantage doesn't really come from the weather. Like I'm sure it's going to impact Tua a little bit playing in the cold if he's not used to it. But even this season, we saw when Jared Goff and the Lions came, there was talk about, oh, it's going to be under 60 degrees. That's when Goff starts playing bad. Oh, it's going to be raining. He's a dome quarterback. He torched us. Like he was on fire that game. So we saw the weather already didn't hit the quarterback like we thought it was going to. And like truthfully, home field advantage comes when your fans are incredibly loud. And as much as I love Lambeau, it's not that loud compared to other state. Like the Chiefs, louder, Seahawks, louder. Like we're not as loud as other teams because you get yelled at by some older person behind you telling you to sit down on like a crucial third down play. And so it's just, that's where the home field advantage comes. And we just don't, it's just not in the culture right now at Lambeau Field.
Yeah, I agree. It's not as loud as, and I feel like a lot of those stadiums are built to be loud. So like even like some of those stadiums are how they have, even when they're not a dome, they kind of come up and they kind of come in a little bit, trying to hold that sound in. Yeah, I feel like was it Seattle? They kind of have a stadium like that kind of enforces loud, and their fans are loud. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that the fans ain't loud, but Lambeau Field, they have a lot of older folks who go to the game and going to the games. You know, since like the 70s or whatever. I don't know how old they are, but like, yeah, that it's probably, I think it's loud. I've never been to another stadium, so I can't compare, but I assume that, you know, especially the Kansas City type places, they are really loud. But let's get to a comment. We got Mr. Green Bay Packer Daily, Rob Westerman. I'll be there loud and proud Thursday night, and Jimmy, I'll be standing. You know what I mean?
There we go.
That's the thing about Lambeau Field, like with the stadium thing. I don't, because like if someone goes to security and says they won't sit down, they'll come and tell you to. From what I heard, I never had that situation happen to me, but I don't think that's not the way to do it. Now, if someone's being a douche on purpose, but if you're just standing, it's third down and you're screaming and stuff, and they're like sit down like that, they need to like address that and be like no, or like have different sections for people who just want to sit. I get a lot of people are season ticket holders, so like that'd be kind of hard to do. But like, I don't know, I don't like the whole sit down thing. Yeah, and I get it because like if someone's older, they can't stand. Exactly. You're blocking their view. So I get their side of it too. Yeah, but that does take a little bit of the, you know, because older folks can't stand up for 3 hours. Yeah.
No, I know that. I was going to say the same thing. That's the tough part because it is such long season ticket holders, which I respect. I wish I was you. For them, if they can't stand up, it's different, and I understand that. But it's it is what it is. Like you just got to make it work. You can still yell and sit down if you have to. You can still be loud.
Oh yeah, even if you're sitting, you can still like you just got to hit them with that. That's what I do. I just scream, makes just sounds. Try to get as loud as possible. I'm not going to the game. Are you going to any more games this year?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. I'm hoping. Who knows? I might get a little last minute text and then I can try to convince the wife. But I think I've used my Packer fund for the year, so I have to earn some brownie points. See if I can cash it in for some money.
Yeah, I'm not going to this game. I was actually offered tickets, but my wife's aunt has season tickets. But I'm gonna live stream and be in Thanksgiving and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, but let's get to a comment here. Iowa Joe, what's up? He said, I think we need to start turning in the ones who yell at you to sit down. They like to turn you in for being too loud. Dude, just turn them in. Yeah. Just everyone's telling on each other. He told me to sit down. He won't sit down. Like the security guard's like mom and dad now.
I'll try that next time for sure.
Yeah. Matt don't stand still. He sways from side to side. I don't like that. That's why even going to games now, when I go, I don't sit in the stands. I stand. I don't like sitting for long periods of time. That's why I used to stand up when I had my other podcast area. I just because I don't like to sit. I think it's funny. Whenever I'm talking, I'm always like, I watch like the clips. I'm like, what are you doing?
You just dancing a little bit. It's no big deal.
You know what I mean? What's up, Jason? Fox owes Jordan Love a turkey leg since he had to wait. They should give him 2. You know what I mean? And also, I still have that merch. You know what I mean? Fox owes Jordan Love a turkey leg or whatever it is. So go check out my store if you want to get one. You won't get it in time for Thanksgiving, but it's still good to have in the closet when you need to pull that thing out. You know what I mean? Jordan Love turkey leg revenge game. And that's the thing, dude. I've heard players talk about it too, like in their interviews and press conferences or whatever. So hopefully that is like something that they're hyped up and kind of motivated to win to get that thing. Imagine if they like lose and then they're like, well, here's a turkey leg. Sorry about last time. Like, no, I don't want it now.
Throw it right back at Greg Olson. Not today.
You know what I mean? But yeah, hopefully they win. But let's talk about the Dolphins a little bit. But before we do, let's I do want to give a shout out over here to Nicolay Law. All right. If you get hurt in an accident and whatnot, and you're dealing with the insurance companies, they're gonna be shady with you. But that's why you need a partner. You need Nicolay Law. Check out nicolaylaw.com. They're gonna take care of you. They they're good lawyers and they're good people. And they care about you and whatnot. So be sure to check it out. Plus, Russ is he's a legend. Russ Nicolay, you know what I mean? Shout out to you, Russ. But anyways, so let's keep it moving. What do the Packers defense got to do? Because the thing about this, we kind of talked about this earlier, but the thing about this Miami team is that they're fast. That's what I saw someone say, because I'm not no expert on Miami, but I was watching someone else talk about it, and they're like, they're fast. Everything that they do on offense is fast. Yeah, their quarterback can run if need to. He needs to learn how to slide a little bit. He's got some concussion stuff. But the wide receivers, they say, they get out of their breaks fast. Like their routes are fast. They're fast humans. Like everything they do is fast. So if someone slips, if someone gets beat, that dude's gone. I don't know how many players they have that are fast. I assume all of them, but I don't know the Miami team like that.
All of them.
Talk to them. Let us know. Give us your analyst of this Miami's offense.
You nailed it with fast. It's insane. That was Mike McDonald wanted it. He did that when or McDaniel wanted it when he got Tyreek Hill. They had Jalen Waddle, so Achane is just a monster back there. The big thing is going to be the Packers always put themselves in position. The one thing they cannot let happen this game is miss tackles, because if you miss a tackle on one of these guys, they're most likely going to get another 15, 20 yards, because that's just how quick they are. It's going to have to be gang tackling. You can't just let it be one-on-one tackles, because that's where it happens, where if he somehow breaks that one, dude's gone, especially Tyreek Hill. I'm assuming Xavier McKinney is going to be over there a lot. Evan Williams giving some help from the safety position. But the big thing too, and another person that's really come on for them, he's been their most targeted person last couple of weeks, is their tight end, Jonnu Smith. So our linebackers are going to have to be on point. Bullard's going to have to be on point if they're guarding the tight end. So it's just know your assignment, be disciplined, and gang tackle, because you're going to have to. And Tua, the offensive line isn't great, but Tua gets the ball out of his hands so fast that the Packers defense, the secondary, has to be in position. There'll be a couple plays where we can get back there and sack Tua, but the goal for McDaniel is you know where your receiver is going to be, drop back, throw it right away, just because their offensive line cannot block that well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like teams that get the ball away fast, because that's what I like. Like even if I'm playing Madden, or even if you're talking about Packers, like if an offense is struggling, I always say just get the ball out quick. But if any team that gets the ball quick, like you have to be on point. You need to have good, because it's hard to cover guys for like 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Like if the quarterback's scrambling around, but like that first little bit, it can be hard too, especially if they're fast. They just do like quick slants. Like you can do that all day long. So everyone's got these linebackers are going to have to cover, especially at tight end. Yeah. Like you said, that they got tight end that's doing their thing. And then that's what I hear Packer fans love. They're like, that's what the Packers linebackers are known for, good coverage, right?
Yeah. It's our strength on defense.
All right, let's get to comments over here. Which known Packer fan that dresses up at games is your guy's favorite fan? Do you have one?
Dude,
I know a few. So.
I don't know anyone. Who's the guy that has that like frozen cheese head with the icicles coming down?
That's the frozen tundra man.
Yeah, I like him. That's a cool kid.
Yeah. He's good, and he's a very nice guy. I've met him. I don't know him like friendly, but I've met him and I've talked to him a few times. But like then you got Senior Cheesehead. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
Marcos. He's the man. Steve the owner Tate. If I had to pick one, I won't pick one, because like I consider both of them my friends, but like Steve and Senior Cheesehead are guys who I've hung out with or whatever. I don't want to say I hung out with Steve, but like, he was on my podcast. Whenever I see him in a game, we talk. Steve is the nicest dude. And to me, like before I was doing anything, I used to see Steve on TV and like that guy's awesome. You know, he had that owner thing, and he was like the
Yeah.
original to me. I mean, I know he wasn't the original because like he told me that. Like, there's other people, you know, that do it. Saint Vince. I've
Okay.
never met him. I feel like he's always at the games, but like I don't know if he is now. But I've never seen him. You know what
Is
I
he
mean? I
the
know
guy
he's
that
there.
he dresses like the Pope?
Yeah, he's got like that whole like Saint Vince thing going on. I heard he's awesome too. I never met him, but yeah, I think those are a few. There's a lot of legendary Packer fans.
There's that dude that dresses up as Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, Hulkamania.
Yeah, Hulkamania, yeah.
I've talked to him. He's a good guy too. Yeah. There's so many. Then you got the Grinch now.
Yeah.
We got the Grinch out there. You know what I mean? He's a good guy too. Met him, but all right. Well, let's keep it moving with these. Defend third and long. They have hard time with that. There you go, Kyle, with some analysts over here. Yeah, dude. I third down just in period have to get after. You got to get off the field on third down. Obviously, it's not going to happen every single time, but got to get off, dude. That drives me nuts, especially if it's like 3rd and 14.
Yeah.
And then they get like some big long pass, dude. It makes me want to just break my TV. It turned me into a Cowboys fan. You know what I mean? What's going on with Tyreek Hill? His numbers are way down versus last year. I think it probably has a little bit to do with Tua was out. I don't know how many games he missed, but I think when
Quite a
your
few.
quarterback goes down, the guy who plays and doesn't always throw the ball to the same people, sees different stuff. I always say it too, like Aaron Rodgers when he was coming up and Favre was playing. Jordy Nelson, I think it was there, and he wasn't like actively playing. So I feel like those guys who are lower on the depth chart at that time, they get friendships or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they get the time to play, they're like, hey, that's my guy right there.
Yeah.
So they kind of have different. And I don't know, like I say, because I'm not no Dolphins know-it-all, but I would assume it's the quarterback situation. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely the quarterback numbers are gonna definitely impact that. And lately too, with Jonnu Smith coming up, I don't know what it is with Tua and him, but he's been targeting him a bunch lately. And like Tyreek Hill, still incredibly fast, still incredibly dangerous. But now he, as crazy as it is, because it's younger than me now, but they say when wide receivers hit that, and it's cornerbacks too, that 30-year-old mark, things start to deplenish. So I think
it's not just players.
Yeah, not just players. I think he's still fast. He just might not have maybe the step that he had last year as well. But I'd say the top two things, just injury to Tua and then Jonnu Smith coming out of nowhere as a reliable target.
Yeah, that 30 thing will get you. I used to be skinny until I was 30. Like
At that point too, who cares?
People used to make fun of me for being skinny because I was so skinny. And now it kind of went the other way. Like all my comments, look at this fat prick. I'm like, hey, make fun of my eyes. That makes me feel better. Iowa Joe, McDuffie and Cooper were on the injury report. Jamin Davis was signed off of the practice squad by the Vikings. But let's talk about the injuries.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything about Jair? I saw someone say that he's not playing. I don't know if that was officially stated. I assume not because they're not going to tell you before they have to. Maybe. Because it is a Thursday game, so I don't know when they have to tell that stuff. But have you heard anything about that?
The last I heard, I was always just assuming he's going to be out because last week they're saying with his PCL that maybe towards the end of the season, come playoff time, he'll be back and ready to go. They didn't think it was going to be season, or it wasn't season ending, but it'll definitely take some time. They didn't put him on IR, which is a good sign, but I'd still think it's going to be this game, and then I would aim maybe the Lions game he comes back, but honestly, who knows with him? I feel bad for Jair because it's either he has an incredible dominant season or it's riddled with injuries. There's really no in between for him. And when he gets injuries, it's never like a one game miss. It's always multiple, it seems. So hopefully he can bounce back. PCL, that sucks. Thankfully, it's not an ACL or MCL or anything like that. Should be a little bit quicker to bounce back.
Let me ask you this. What's a PCL?
Somewhere in the knee. I think it's the back of your knee. I don't know. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was like an internet connection. You know what I mean?
I didn't know about it till one of the buddies I trained with had PCL injury, but he never fixed it. So there would be one time he tried to kick and his leg would just go out just because his PCL is not there.
Yeah, I assume I got one. I don't know what it's doing, but it's holding it down for me. But you know what I mean? But what do you think about the other injuries? Cooper, he didn't play last week.
Cooper and McDuffie, that sucks, especially going against this team because they're going to try to target the middle of the field. They're going to try to get moving. Achan's a good back, so you need your big bodies to stop. And then now we have to rely on Wilson and Hooper. Hooper hasn't really played much. He got in there a little bit last week in the second half, but he's been mostly a really good practice or a special teams player for us this year. So it's going to be a big step up for him. But yeah, we're going to have to just roll with those three and kind of make it work.
You know,
Halfley's going to earn his job or earn his money this week.
Yeah, they got to get creative. You know what I mean? I like this comment right here. We're going to get to this. It's interesting right here. You get in a bar brawl. You could pick 3 people to help. One has to be a Packers coach. One has to be a Packers content creator. And one has to be a Packers beat writer. Who do you pick?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a wild one. That's a wild question, Iowa Joe. You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll let you do it.
Let's say, like, what coach? Who, I mean, I like Matt LaFleur, but he doesn't seem like a scrapper to me. I can't say his name, but the special teams coordinator, but
Bisaccia?
I can't say that name. Bisaccia. He's kind of older, but I feel like, you know, he's not the one probably to mess with. I wouldn't mess with him. So I'll say him. A content creator, I'll say Monty Moore, dude. That dude can like bench the world. He's out there every day just flexing. Whenever I see him, his little workout videos, I scroll past him because it makes me feel bad about myself. No, not really. But I'll take Monty there. I feel like he could scrap. And Packers beat writer, I don't know, dude. I'll say Wes Hodgkowitz. He runs a lot. He's fit. A lot of them are kind of older. I feel like Aaron Nagler could probably get something done if he needed to. But I don't know. Yeah. So those are my 3. Who do you got?
Coach, I'm going to go with Butkus. So mainly because of his name, he has some crazy in him.
Yeah, I like that.
Content. I hate copying your answers, but I think I have to go Monty. Monty's just,
you gotta.
He's too built not to go.
Dude, you could have said me.
You could have said me.
I know, right? I should have said you. You're I think you and Monty probably the top 2.
Now you're going to be fighting me, actually. You're getting in a bar brawl with me.
Yeah.
And then Wes is a huge UFC fan, big MMA guy, so he's got to learn a little something from osmosis just watching it. So I feel like you got to go with him. And like you said, the other one's a little older. I'm sure as hell not picking Bukowski. He'll lose for sure. So got to go with Wes.
I don't know. Yeah. I think that's an interesting question. I don't know that they're all pretty grown. I don't think they're getting in fights. But, so let's trying to get to some more comments here. What's up, Matt? Isaac, I listen to you. Will you be going to the Week 18 game? And can't wait to hopefully meet you there. I don't know for sure like what games I'm going to. Probably another game or two.
That's the Bears one.
Yeah, I think the Bears one. It did one. Yeah, so that's the last one. That one's at times not officially. Right? It's to be determined. But I think I'm probably gonna go to that game. I'm really having fun live streaming during the games, and it's funny because people are like so like they can't wrap their head around it. Because I said on my game stream, I was like, I could have went, but I could go to every home game. I mean, obviously money's the thing. I have to pay for the tickets, but I can usually get tickets, fairly cheap. Even if I go to Ticketmaster, if you wait till the last minute because I stand up top, I can just buy the cheapest ticket. So it's not like it's crazy expensive. But I just like the game streams right now. I'm having fun with it and trying to grow some stuff. And you got to be there. People forget there's a lot of options come game day. A lot of options for live stream. So let me ask you, how do you see, and then we'll wrap this up soon, but how do you see this season ending? Like, and we're in the second part of the season. You think that they're going to bring it on? Like, I feel like they're not going to lose a ton more games. They have some tough ones for sure, but I feel like to be competitive in this division, like they have to bring it. Short week this week. We'll see what happens. But how do you see it finishing out here?
Yeah, the top 2 games for us, obviously, everyone knows it. Got to beat the Vikings. Got to beat the Lions. In there, they beat us at Lambeau. We got to beat them at their home turf. So those are big ones too. Just not to be a negative Packer fan, I already kind of conceded the North. We just got to secure a wild card. And I think we're going to regardless, even if somehow the Vikings finish ahead of us. But I don't think they're as good as their record. I think they're a good team, but I don't think they're as good as the record shows. They had another tough match against the Bears. So I honestly could see us inching them out for second place in the division, get a wild card spot. But I don't know. The only team I see us losing to again this season is just going to be the Lions. And not that I say we're going to. I think we have a great chance of beating them as well. It's just if I had to pick a game that we lose, it's going to be them. I'm sure we might have another one of those games. We have it every year where we lose, and it's just like, how the hell did that happen? We're a much better team. But as long as we can turn it on the last 3-4 games before the playoffs, so that's coming up quick, but starting to get into a groove, I think we're going to see a lot of it from the same as the end of last season. Jordan Love, he's getting some games under his belt now, getting back from the injury, healthy. Rhythm's going to start getting there. I think we'll turn it on towards the end of the season, and we can hopefully make a playoff run. But playoffs for sure, and I could see us getting that number 2 in the division.
Yeah, I don't think the Lions are going to lose. They might not lose too many more games. I think that they might lose to the Packers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll be a tough game. I'm not like trying to even talk trash like that, but maybe they lose like a game that they shouldn't lose. But watching the Lions, like, what they put up 50 the other week. I don't know, I forget what week that was, but I don't know what they did this week. I forget. But the Lions are a good team. They're not gonna go on a drought. Like the Vikings might start losing at some point, but which I've been saying all year, so maybe they probably won't. But I do think the Packers are going to get a wild card. I think that they're going to win some games. But the Lions, I don't see them losing. Like, they're not going to lose 3 more games or something like that. Stupid. They're going to.
Looking at their schedule, too, they got the Bears, then us, Bills, Bears, 49ers, and then Vikings. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't see them losing to the Vikings. 49ers, if it's desperation mode and they have to win to even sniff the playoffs, maybe they have some motivation. I think right now it's the Packers and Bills are the best chance for them to lose any games.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, do you think 3 teams are going to make it from the NFC North?
I think so. So. The Commanders will be. The NFC West is such a weird one right now because they're all just middle of the pack teams. The Seahawks and Cardinals are going to battle it out. We play the Seahawks, so if we get that win over them, that's huge for the wild card spot. Commanders are another tricky one, but they kind of seem to go in a slump. Cowboys suck, so you don't have to worry about them. NFC South sucks. They're just going to get one. So yeah, I could really see 3 teams from the NFC North. I think it's actually really likely.
Yeah, I think it is too. I said that because someone's like, "There's no way." I was like, "Look at the NFC. Like, there's not like you say like because the Niners. I didn't realize that division was so bad. Because I said to someone, I was like, they're like, "Yeah, well, the Niners beat you in the playoffs all the time." I said, "Yeah, well, I guess we don't got to worry about that this year." And then someone's like, "Yeah, they're literally in last place, but 1 game away from first."
Yep.
I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah,
I do. You learn stuff when you're trying to roast a Niner fan.
Dude, for real. It's such a weird one because it's Seahawks, Cardinals are both 6-5, Rams and 49ers are 5-6. So yeah, it's just a cluster in that division. They're only going to get one out of there.
Yeah, the NFL is such a wild, we got the NFC North who's like balling right now, and for years it wasn't like that. And then, some divisions is like everyone's just above 500 barely. But let's get to a few more comments and then we'll wrap this thing up. What's up, Rick? He says, "Matt, you a beast. Love your live stream games. You know me, I don't miss it. Maybe 1 or 2 years." Dude, Rick is there. He's on it. I appreciate you, Rick. You know what I mean? My wife don't even watch that much. She only tunes in to troll. She'll tune in and start roasting me. Packers need to be much more disciplined versus the Lions. That displayed at Lambeau was embarrassing. Yeah, that's the thing. They do, like, penalty-wise, and they have to just mistakes in general. Even Jordan Love, some of the decision-making. I do like the aggressiveness, but maybe, pick your spots, like when you want to be aggressive. And I love me some Jordan Love, but yeah, there's some decision-making that you're like, hey, let's rein in a little bit. But yeah, the penalties, though, I think is a huge thing. Just mental mistakes, especially at home.
They said one thing too this last broadcast. It was when we get in the red zone, we always get, apparently that's our hot spot for penalties too. And if we don't get a penalty in the red zone, we score 68% of the time. If we do get a penalty, we score 17% of the time. So it's like such a huge difference for us. And it just happens that we always get penalties in the red zone. we broke it this year or this last game. We got a penalty in the red zone, still ended up scoring, but it's just we shoot ourselves in the foot. Even that, like you said too, being more disciplined for the Lions game. You mentioned it. The drops absolutely killed us. Like drops alone was at least a 10-point swing. Most of them turned to punts. One was turnover on downs. One was a missed field goal. Like right there, one of the drops was Wicks in the end zone. Should have been an easy 7 points. It's just that stuff. Yeah, that was just a terrible game. I need to push out of my memory.
Yeah, like absolutely. But yeah. So, do you have a score prediction for this week? It's a tough one, I think. I think it's a tough one to predict. And not that I'm ever right. So it's like, oh, it was easy last time, but yeah, I stay wrong.
I'm with you. This one's tough. I think it's I could see a shootout happening, but I think the name of the game for the Packers is going to be just time of possession. Really rely on Josh Jacobs again, like we've been doing every week. I keep going back to that Dolphins game where James Cook had like 3 touchdowns on them. So I think Josh Jacobs going to carry us again this game. I'll give it 27-21 Packers. But I think
21.
Yeah. Dolphins are good. They'll figure it out, but
yeah, I was thinking about it earlier, and I thought I was thinking 34-31, but I was thinking the same thing. So sometimes when you think it's going to be a shootout, it's not.
Yeah.
If the Packers can run the ball like they did this week, and that's not a given, every week, but if they're successful running the ball, because like if the Dolphins come in and say, hey, we're not going to let them run the ball like that, then and they kind of shut it down, then they kind of change stuff. Then you got to start eating that thing. But if they're successful running the ball, then I think it'll be lower. But I'm still going to say 34-31. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're probably going to be closer than me, but that's just how it is. But we got Rick says 27-21. James says 24-21 Packers, and Jason's got 38-20 Dolphins. I like that one the best.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that one.
Again. Yeah, you know what I mean? I like that 38. 38-10 was a good time. Niners are horrible. They irritate me. Dude, you know what's funny about the Niners game though is that after that game, I said I'm not going to talk trash because they were injured, obviously. Yeah. But I was like, they did what they were supposed to do to an injured team, a team that's not that great this year to begin with. But then Niner fans started talking, and even Packer fans and like Viking fans, everyone was talking about this win like, oh, it doesn't matter. Even Packer fans, it's just weird to me. You win 38-10, you can't be happy. I don't understand the mindset of being mad about your team all the time. I get if they lose and you're like, like this sucks and like they need to do this, they need to do that, or even being critical of them, that's fine too. But you win 38-10, and then I post like Happy Victory Monday, like, well, yeah, good job, they were all hurt. Like, dude, you're a Packer fan though. Like, what? Can we just enjoy it? Can we just like have a day where we can just say, hey, we won, it's cool?
What doesn't make any sense, and I already said at the beginning, they complained last week we didn't win by enough. We should have beat the Bears by more. Then this week, we destroy the 49ers like we should do because they're injured and we're the better team. But then it's still, no, we can't be happy because they're injured. We did what we're supposed to do. Stop. You can't have it both ways. You can't complain we don't win by enough. And then when we win by 28 points, you can't complain and say, well, they were hurt. Like it's either we're a good team or you're just a miserable fan. Like I'm so confused on that.
Yeah, dude, it's mind-boggling to me. So if you haven't heard my rant, go check out the podcast. I posted, I think, yesterday, and it's over on YouTube as well. But Jimmy, thanks for joining me. The thing worked out. Your Wi-Fi was all right. My Wi-Fi seems to be better.
Here we are.
And little
we're
scary
back
at the beginning though. Little scary at the beginning though. But you can find Jimmy every Sunday on the Pack a Day podcast. So what are you gonna be talking about this Sunday on the podcast? You're gonna be covering because we got a Thursday game.
Yeah, we'll be covering, and I'm a maybe for this week. It's the last weekend of hunting, so I'll be out with my dad and stuff this weekend. So I probably won't be on Sunday's episode, but Nick Schmitz will be covering a little whatever week are we on? A little week preview.
So it'll probably be the most listened to Sunday podcast.
It'll be by far the best Sunday episode ever to go out. Yeah, with my absence, it'll stay on track. I won't just start talking about random things or have too much to drink before it, so it'll be good.
So going hunting, have you bagged some big bucks in your day? Are you trying to find it?
I suck at hunting. I'm trying to get it. I've gotten a couple deer. My uncle actually, we sat out on opening day, $3 by 12 o'clock. all to himself.
Wow.
Yeah, knocked them all down. Yeah.
Dude, he's just Clint Eastwood of the woods.
Just clean, yeah. And then that was Saturday morning. Sunday morning, he texted me and got his fourth. So he got $4 by Sunday.
Is that even legal?
DNR, if you're listening, it wasn't just him. It was everybody else.
Yeah, it was a group.
Yeah, it was a group of us.
He just takes credit. But I only went hunting once. I don't hunt. I'm glad people do because I don't like deer running into my truck. But I went hunting one time with these folks. I don't know if I ever told you this story. But my father-in-law, this is like way back in the day. And I wasn't hunting, so I brought a bottle of Kessler with me. You know what I mean? Because that was that weekend was about. So I had this like a little bottle of Kessler in my pocket. We get into the tent where we're all like, this shanty, whatever it is, and we're all like, getting ready. I'm with one of my father-in-law's friends, and then I take a swig of the Kessler, and it kind of went down the wrong pipe, and I'm like, I'm like trying, and he's like, don't you dare! Like I unzipped it, put my head out there, just puked it out. And then he was like, well, we're done. He's like, just started packing up. He's like, ain't no deer coming anywhere near here. Dude just ralphed out his lunch or his breakfast, whatever it was. But that was the last time I went hunting.
I'm surprised. It seems like you did great.
Yeah, people don't invite me as much anymore. You know what I mean? But all right, we're going to wrap this thing up. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm trying to find this thing right here. Oh, we got it now. But I appreciate, shout out to Rick, shout out to Dan, shout out to James, shout out to everyone who is watching live. If you just tuned in late, it will be on the podcast on the audio version tomorrow. Be sure to subscribe to the Matt Ramage Show, Apple, Spotify, all the places that people listen to podcasts. I had some fun over there. I'm doing more solo stuff where I'm just kind of ranting and raving and talking about what's going on, trying to put more stuff there. But go Pack, go. Hey, Jimmy, happy Tuesday. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. You got big plans?
I hope you have a better one. No, going to my sister's house, and then so going down to the Milwaukee area. Nothing crazy. We got a small family, so it's just going to be a little family gathering.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing too much. Be my wife, my son. I'm not sure if my other son's going to come home. I don't really get into the, it's not like whatever. I'm not a holiday guy. Even Christmas, not a fan. Like when I was a kid, it was like when my kids were young. It's cool watching them open their presents, but like there's so much to do. I don't like doing stuff. You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. I hate holidays, man. I like you said, with little kids, Christmas is fun. Them opening presents. I'm a Scrooge for Halloween, could care less. Thanksgiving, I like the food, but I'd also rather just hang out in my house and watch football and not talk to anybody. So it's easier.
Yeah, I'm a Scrooge these days, but when you have little kids, it's cool, like watching them, they get all excited, they're all happy, and then 2 days later they break the thing, but whatever. That was a good day at least.
Or play with the box more than the actual toy.
Yeah, they're like, this is cool, like throw this thing out of here. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Go Pack, go people. I appreciate you watching, appreciate you listening, and be sure to check out Jimmy on Pack-A-Day podcast, not this Sunday, but the one after that, after he kills no deer. I hope you do. Good luck. Good luck. And have a good time with your pops. All right, we are out.
Last Jimmy on the show, yeah, the talking smack. Talking about the Packers, how they plan to attack. My Pack